Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new here, my name is Leah and most of my videos are focused on unsolved crimes and mysteries. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about Sade Roninsons. She was a 19-year-old woman just full of life. She had a fun but very busy life with family, friends, 2 jobs and school. One day she met a man and she felt like the chemistry was just there. So she agreed to go on a date with him. But what she didn't know was that her date had a very, very dark and dangerous side. So if you're ready, let's do this. Sade Roninsons was an absolute gorgeous 19-year-old Afro-American woman living in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Sade was known to be very outgoing, funny, sweet, and just so full of life. She had very big goals for herself and worked so hard to achieve them. She was only 1 week away from graduation and was about to join the US Air Force. Sade was very popular among family and friends, and they would often hang out or drive around in her car listening to music. She had everything going for her. On Monday, the 1st of April 2024, Sade had a completely normal day, and in the afternoon she was texting with her mother, Sheena. Sade was in contact with her family on a daily basis because they were a very tight-knit family. After she finished the conversation with her mom, she started to get ready to go on a first date with a new man she had just met, Maxwell Steven Anderson. Sade was so excited and was looking forward to that perfect first date. She drove to a bar called the Twisted Fisherman to meet Maxwell. They hung out there for a while and then decided to move on to another place called Duke's on Water. And later that evening, Maxwell invited Sade back to his house so the evening could continue there. They arrived to Maxwell's house, and not long after, things would turn into a complete nightmare for Sade. The next day, on Tuesday, the 2nd of April, Sade had a work shift at Pizza Shuttle, but Sade was nowhere to be seen. The co-workers got really worried about her because she was always reliable and responsible, and she never missed a day at work. Sade and the other staff members were really close and they all considered each other like family. After waiting for a while, one of the co-workers decided to call the Milwaukee County Police and ask them to do a welfare check on Sade. The police drove to her home, but they couldn't find her. After checking her phone records, they got a location on her mobile phone. But when they went to that location, the only thing they found was Sade's car completely burned out. The vehicle was searched, and they found Sade's clothes and her mobile phone in the trunk. It was at that time she was reported missing. On the same day, early in the afternoon, Sade's mom received a very odd text message from Sade's mobile phone. All it said was, "I need some money. Do you have $15? Sheena knew something was wrong because that was very out of character for Sade to write something like that. Later the same day at 5:29 p.m., the Milwaukee County 911 dispatch received a call about a severed leg that had been found in the Wonimon Park next to the golf course. They drove to the park and could see that the leg was amputated from the hip down, and the leg belonged to an Afro-American woman. The leg was sent to the medical examiner's office to find out who the leg belonged to. A DNA test was made, and it was sadly confirmed that the leg belonged to Sade Roninsons. The police started an investigation working together with 10 other agencies. People in Milwaukee were terrified and demanded answers. A few days later, the 4th of April, The police investigation led them to a person of interest. His name was Maxwell Stephen Anderson. He was arrested after a traffic stop near his home, and a search warrant was conducted. When the investigators entered the house, they went to the bedroom where they found blood, and that blood led them to the basement where they found a sex dungeon. There was blood on the stairs, the floor, and the walls. The police was looking at all surveillance cameras in the area, and it led them to search on 3000 West Glen Street. And the next day, on Friday the 5th of April, the investigators found additional human remains, including a foot. On Saturday, April 6th, the NPD continued their search in the area, and they found more human remains on a railroad track. Later the same evening, NPD returned to the area, and Sade's family had located a blanket that belonged to her. It had a print of her dog, Coco Chanel, that had passed away, and a picture of Sade. The police decided to search the area where the blanket was found, and they found more human remains. Maxwell Stephen Anderson is 33 years old and worked as a bartender. He has worked in bars all over Milwaukee, and the latest job was in Victor's bar. He might seem like a really nice guy when you meet him, but he is very well known by the police. In 2014, he was arrested for disorderly conduct. And then he was arrested again the same year for domestic abuse, but that charge was later dismissed. Then he was arrested again in 2015 for disorderly conduct, domestic abuse, and criminal damage to a property. Again in 2019, he was arrested for disorderly conduct, and in 2022, he was arrested for a DUI. It's known that Maxwell attacked some of his family members, and he also beat up a man who was trying to help a woman that Maxwell was arguing with. A woman has come forward and told the police she met Maxwell in the bar where he was working. He invited her to his house and gave her a small tour. He asked her if she wanted to see the basement, but at the same time told her that it might be a little bit creepy. She told him she was good and she didn't need to go down there, and that decision probably saved her life. Maxwell is behind bars awaiting his day in court in April. He is charged with first-degree intentional murder, for mutilating a body, and for arson. The police had found a severed leg, a severed foot, and other human remains. But there is still some remains that's missing. So the police and volunteers are out searching everywhere in wooded areas, railroad tracks, trying to find the last remains.
Through woods and near tracks, dozens continued a diligent search for Sade Roninsons' remains. The unknown of what searchers will find where the 19-year-old was last seen made their task Friday even more difficult.
I have a little sister around her age, little cousins around her age. It could have been any one of them. And if it was one of them, I would want the community out here helping me as well.
Coriana Danielle spent the entire day moving from spot to spot, digging for clues.
So we've come to the end of the video, but before I go, there's a few things that I want to say. Sade's family are heartbroken and completely devastated, and they need all the love and support they can possibly get. They made a GoFundMe page to help with the expenses for Sade's service. I'm gonna post a link down below if you want to support them. I also want to send my prayers and my condolences to the family. I can't even begin to imagine what you're going through. I'm so sorry for your loss. So that's it for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Until the next one, take care and stay safe. Bye.